All right, folks. I've been trying to avoid making political videos for a long time now, just because I wanted to just kind of stick to like martial arts content or like random fun content or just random things that just pop into my mind, and I've generally avoided political stuff. But what I've been watching for the last few months has just gotten me to a point where I really gotta say something, and this is against the current Democrat Party, and just what they've done to us is just extremely sickening and extremely undemocratic and very unconstitutional. And I doubt that this video is going to even be promoted by the YouTube algorithm, mostly because my channel has a martial arts algorithm to it, so anything political just kind of doesn't get promoted here, and I don't really have the right audience for this, but I have to say something. And it's that what the Democratic Party did to us by giving us Kamala Harris is extremely unconstitutional. And no, this has nothing about her being a woman of color, or nothing about her being a woman, or anything about that. I'm talking about the way she got into the position that she is in now. You see, correct me if I'm wrong, but whenever we have a presidential race, you have the Republican primary, you have the Democratic primary, where dozens of people they run against each other. They all raise money, they go on stages, they all have speeches, they all debate one against one another, and then the American people they go state by state, and then the American people vote for who they want for their party. If you're, you vote for your Republican nomination, you vote for your you vote for your Democratic nomination, and then the independents they do whatever it is that they do that gets their guys into the presidential race to secure 5 to 7% of the vote. And then and then after that we get a few months where the final nominees are secured, and then they go against each other, right? See, Kamala Harris didn't get any of that. She didn't have to do any of that. Yes, she ran for president in 2019, and then she got defeated by Joe Biden, which was a really bullshit. By the way, I'm gonna go into that later. That's not the point of this conversation right now. The point is that Kamala Harris didn't have in the year 2024, in the year 2023, didn't have to run through a primary. She didn't she didn't compete against any other candidates. She didn't have to go against RFK. She didn't have to go against presumably Gavin Newsom. She didn't have to go against anybody, Bloomberg. She didn't have to compete against any Tulsi Gabbard or anyone. Bernie Sanders. Well, Bernie Sanders is old as hell now. We see how that's going well for our presidents. But she didn't have to compete against anybody. No. What happened is she just happened to be the president, and then Joe Biden, when the entire world finally saw and arrived on the same page, that he was not okay to be the president, we all find and he finally was forced to drop out just because the pressure was too much, and his mental faculties were never there to begin with during his presidency, he's finally relinquished his the next 4 years, and then they gave us Kamala Harris. Now Kamala Harris hasn't actually successfully secured the delegates or the votes on the primary process to become the next president. Nobody selected her. Nobody wanted her. Nobody's voting for her. Nobody voted for her. But somehow she's the Democratic nominee. Well, what should have happened is they should have had like a hey, listen, now that President Biden is no longer running for president, we need to put together a coalition of 5 or 6 possible candidates, have them just go on a really high energy campaign across America for 4 or 5, 6 weeks. All right, very fast, very high pace. Put out as much social media as possible. Do as many debates, 3 debates a week during those 6 weeks. We all get a really fast crash course as Americans, and we get to decide. Hey, this is who we want as our Democratic president to run against Donald Trump, against RFK Jr. And then the American people select. Hey, we like this candidate. We like that candidate. No, that didn't happen. Instead, we were undemocratically given this option. We were undemocratically told that you guys are gonna go vote for Kamala Harris now, when most people don't know a single thing about her. The only thing that most people know about her is 2 things. A, she is the vice president of the current United States president, and she is a California Democrat. I mean, let's look at how good California is doing these days. Um, have you been to San Francisco lately? My God, it's like freaking Raccoon City over there, man. It's frightening. But and but just based off those two things alone, like, how is anybody gonna vote for that? Nobody wants that. Most Democrats don't want to go to California. It's scary over there. And now they're gonna put one of their leaders in there, the ones who are responsible for them going for California being in that position. You see, for all the things that the Democratic Party has been telling us, as long as I've been alive, 36 years now, I'm 36 years old. They've been telling us that the Democratic Party is the party of the people. They care about the little people. They want to give us as much as possible. But then they go ahead and they take the power out of the little people's hands, out of the voters' hands. And they rip it right out of us. And they thought that we wouldn't notice? Are you kidding me? This is insulting. This is un-American. This is undemocratic. We are a representative democracy. We're supposed to choose the people that we want to represent us. But Kamala Harris didn't secure a single vote from anybody for her to represent the Democratic Party. This is absolutely sickening. This is not freedom. This is a dictatorship. You want to talk about the deep state? This is the deep state. They're choosing our leaders for us. Now, they've always chosen our leaders for us, but at least they gave us the illusion that we could vote for them. But now they've taken away that illusion. Now they're being very, very upfront about it. They're supposed to give us at least 5 or 6 candidates. Hey, choose from one of these 5 or 6 people that we chose for you, and then we're gonna go from there. No, we didn't get 5 or 6. We got one, and it's Kamala Harris. No, I don't want that. Nobody I know wants that. Nobody wants that. The people, and let's be real, it's gonna be like 2016 all over again. Nobody's gonna vote for Donald Trump. People aren't voting for Kamala Harris. They're voting against Donald Trump. Is that how you want to choose your next leaders? The only reason I'm choosing this person is because I don't want the other person? That's a horrible way to run a democracy. Horrible. And I'm sickened as an American. I feel awful. I feel ashamed. Because we preach freedom and constitutional rights. And we preach, we hold up our Bill of Rights like it's the greatest document in the world. Well, it's only a great document if we follow it. But what does the 10th Amendment say? Broken down simply, it's that we should the American government should fear its own people. Because if the American people don't like a politician, don't like their leaders, they can vote them out. They can get rid of them. They can choose to not have this person represent them anymore. But we're not getting that anymore. Proof of that is nobody wants Biden. If you rewind to 2019 to 2020, no Democrat voter that I'm aware of across the entire United States, and I'm in some very public discourses, discords, where a lot of political conversations happen. No one wanted Biden. People wanted Buttigieg. People wanted Andrew Yang. I wanted Andrew Yang. I voted for Andrew Yang. I wrote his name on the ballot, Andrew Yang. People wanted Bernie Sanders. A lot of people wanted Bernie Sanders. Tulsi Gabbard had a lot of people who wanted her in. But nobody wanted these two people. They didn't want Kamala, and they definitely didn't want Biden. I didn't know a single person that wanted either one of them. But somehow they became our president and our vice president? And you're going to tell me that there isn't a deep state? That there isn't something going on? Think about it. This is very un-American. Nobody wanted them, and then they became the president and vice president, and now it's 2024, and now we're getting the same two choices again, just in reverse order. At first it was Biden-Harris, now it's going to be Harris and insert somebody here. And the only reason that they have a chance of winning is because the Democrat Party does a very, very, very brilliant job of painting Trump as the worst person in history. I'll be honest, I hated Trump when he first came in. I did not want him. But then I ended up voting for him in 2016 was because I did not want Hillary Clinton as president. I, 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 and I'm glad that in 2016 I voted for Trump. 2020 came around. I thought Trump did an okay job, but he still wasn't someone that I wanted to represent me. So I didn't vote for him. Andrew Yang came by. I read his books. I liked some of his ideas. I don't think UBI is a good idea for the record. I think it's a horrible idea. But I think there are at least the way that he wants to implement it. I think there is a way to implement UBI, just not his way. I don't think that giving every American $1,000 is going to solve anything. It's only going to lead to inflation. But I still voted for him because I liked some of his ideas, and I liked I like some of his values. Fast forward to 2024, right now, our our current choices are Donald Trump and Kamala Harris and RFK Jr. I'm voting RFK, by the way, unless something drastic happens and I learn a whole bunch of new things between now and November. If the election were held today, I'm voting for RFK. But that doesn't change the fact that what I see from the Democrat Party and this wool they're pulling over our eyes, this hood they're trying to they didn't think that we wouldn't notice. It's absolutely sickening. As an American, I'm deeply ashamed, and I was just and I have to put that out there because I know I'm not the only one that notices how un-American Kamala Harris's nomination is. Absolutely, absolutely un-American.